Hi there everyone, so I'm going to do the next devotional in our No Fear series, and so as part of this series on thinking about this idea of no fear, we've been encouraged to think about times that we have maybe felt fear or been in a fearful situation in our lives, and one of the times that I've been most scared, felt the most fear in my life has actually happened over the last few weeks. So after the whole of lockdown of not being able to see my grandma, a few weeks ago, we decided to go and visit her, to keep her company. She hasn't been able to see too many people. And so we went to see her. We followed all the rules, did what we were supposed to, and it was just lovely. And we talked about how it was just such a good decision to kind of make that effort and go and see her and go and spend time with her. And then as we were driving home from seeing her, our daughter, Chloe, was quite unsettled, a little bit upset in the car. And I reached back to hold her hand and it was boiling hot. And so immediately upon feeling that, all the fears start racing into your head, that kind of automatic reaction of, okay, she's got a temperature, so we've got to go and get her tested. Has she got COVID? Have we just visited my elderly grandmother with a child who had COVID and we didn't know? So all these fears are kind of going through my head. And I was just completely overwhelmed by fear as we arrived home. We checked her temperature, confirmed that sure enough she did have a high temperature. We had to book a test. And then the only thing we could do beyond that was pray. And that's what we did, and we messaged others to pray, and the next couple of weeks were painfully slow as we waited 6 days to get the results, which were indeed positive, and then a week beyond that to see if somehow she'd managed to pass it on to my grandma, and God answered our prayers. My grandma had not contracted the virus from us, and for that we are so thankful. And so that in itself is a testimony. But what I wanted to mention today is that our prayers started to be answered long before we knew those results, and long before we had the physical evidence that my grandma was okay, that she hadn't got the virus. And I was just so struck by the fact that the prayer starts to work and take effect the minute that just one other person starts to pray with you. So before the miraculous has taken place, we start to see the effect of that prayer. So we don't always necessarily get the response that we thought we wanted or that we expected when we've been praying, and we don't always know God's bigger picture, the plan. But in that simple act of reaching out, of asking for prayer, knowing that others are either physically there with you praying for you, or they're praying from a distance for you, that prayer then starts to take effect, and that fear, that reaction that we have starts being chipped away, and those anxieties, some of those anxieties we can start to let go of. So let's just be encouraged by that, to reach out and get others praying for us. And I'm going to finish by reading the section entitled The Prayer of Faith from James, which is just an encouragement for us to kind of reach out to our church community and do so. Is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. Let them sing songs of praise. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise them up. If they have sinned, they will be forgiven. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Have great weeks, everybody. Thanks very much.